To me, Super Smash Bros. Melee represents everything I want from a game. You can have a run through bashing Master Hand when there's no one around, or get some mates together and go clickety-clack for a few hours. It's the perfect fighting game by not actually being a fighting game, more of a battle royale with famous video game characters. Like the director of the series himself, Sakurai, the game has refused to age, which is why me and my friends still play it to this day. Hello, I'm Maffew from Tom Campbell, and also Cultaholic, and today I'll be talking about how much Smash Bros. Melee means to me.
Choose your character.
Even though, like Tom, I grew up worshipping Sonic, once the 16-bit era was over, the Blue Hedgehog had no chance when Virgin Megastore bestowed upon me the Nintendo 64, aka the greatest console of all time. Although the PlayStation 1 obviously had its own amazing games at the same time, the N64 holds a special place in my heart because of the vast multiplayer options, because of the 4 controller outlets. This meant our house was always full with neighbourhood kids for lashings of Mario Kart and GoldenEye, and some of these kids we even knew the names of. I discovered Smash Bros. The old-fashioned way pre-internet, by reading about it in the preview section of N64 magazine, where development images and info would be injected directly into my awaiting anticipation artery. The first images for the upcoming Smash Bros. Game blew me away. Mario in a fighting game? For a console that sucks for fighting games? That somehow merges the Nintendo universes together so I can hit Link with Donkey Kong's hammer? This is the type of thing 12-year-old me would have illustrated in the margins of a boring maths lesson. Sure, not something games developers would make. And soon it would be filling the shelves of my local Blockbusters, until Obscure Marmado delayed it like every other PAL Nintendo release. I couldn't believe it. The gameplay of Smash Bros. Is beautifully simple. Knock your opponent off the screen. That's it. Every attack you connect with increases your opponent's percentage, and the higher the percentage, the further they got knocked back, and the easier it is to send them into total oblivion, where they can hang out with Jason Jordan. Like a lot of classic games, the overall premise is basic, but is made much more interesting with a range of ways you can accomplish your goal. Every character has a variety of A button striking moves, there's B button moves, there's B button moves that help you not get knocked off the stage, there's grabs, there's items, there's Pokeballs for that show that was airing on Sky 1 at the time, the one with the seizures. Smash 64 was a fun game for myself and neighbourhood friends to hang out with and play until we got headaches, because we were only allowed to play games on the weekends, and we made sure to get the most out of it and play until our eyes hurt. As long as I got to be Wizard Hat Pikachu, life was good. A few years later, Nintendo proved life could be gooder. More characters, better graphics, more moves, more ways of playing, less gimmicky stages, hundreds more songs, and more references to Nintendo franchises, and less lawsuit-inducing lightsabers. Smash Bros. Melee may have only tweaked a few key parts of the gameplay, but that's because there wasn't much need to change anything about it. So by packing in the equivalent to 1,000 loot boxes of content to the sequel, it meant I'd be kept very happy maining as Captain Falcon, before getting bored and switching to Peach, and then experimenting with Donkey Kong, but mostly Peach and Ganondorf. And it's weird, when TripleJump asked me if I had a game that meant a lot to me, I struggled to think of one, and it took me a while to realise maybe it's that game that I've played at least once a year, every single year it's come out. I would have hoped my game of choice would be something cerebral, but life's a lot like Mr. Game & Watch's side B. You don't know what's going to happen, and you just have to make the most of it. While I'd played Smash 64 at my mum's house in Northampton, after a period of family drama I ended up with my brother in Bishop Auckland with a new school, new friends and new way of life. I wasn't a cool or athletic kid, but always had friends due to my ability to go up to people who looked weird and go, "Hey, do you play games?" So despite all the changes in my life, gaming ended up being a reliable way of keeping normal. My Bish friends weren't great at Smash, so I was lucky the game allowed you to apply handicaps and shove a ton of items on screen to spice it up, before they moved on to harder games like throwing rocks at cars and getting dudes to buy booze from the corner shop. But the thought was there. Smash Bros. Melee was the second installment of Nintendo Smash series that didn't quite make it out in time to count as a release game, but I bought the console and then waited for that game to be released, so it counted as one to me. This was actually very helpful as Nintendo decided to release the GameCube slap bang in the middle of the GCSEs, so I saw the game as a reward for memorising the important bits of Mice and Men, like that bit when George down smashes Lenny off the ledge. With Super Mario Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion not quite giving me that Mario game I'm going to fall in love with immediately vibe that I was used to, Smash Bros. Established itself more in the console than in its own box. There wasn't a particular moment when it clicked. I just realised I'd been playing the game for years and I was still enjoying it no matter who I was with. If somebody was good at the game, you played Final Destination 1v1, and if they weren't, you threw balls at each other. I don't know what melee translates to exactly, but I can only assume it's Latin for blood pact, because later on from Bishop Auckland I moved to Preston for 3 miserable years, with the sole highlight being the lifelong friends I met in my journey, who all played Smash, as it turns out that late teen life is very similar to early teen life. Sure, there was always time for a drunken game of Halo 3 or Gay Chicken, but Smash would end up being the game we'd fall asleep playing more often than not. Fate had somehow decided that wherever I was in the world, Smash Brothers would creep up, tap on my shoulder, and politely remind me that it was still there, and it was enabling me to meet new friends. Finally, I moved to Newcastle, where I settled in and found new friends by going out like a normal human being. That's a complete lie. I found them hanging out at the now gone Gamers for Games and the control pad in the gate. There, I was able to meet people my own age, and bizarrely, kids so young they'd show up to play in their school uniforms. Why weren't they playing the newer Smash games like Brawl or 4, or games that normal kids played like Call of Duty? Turns out they didn't like those sequels. Turns out that Sakurai's team had actually got the formula right second time in. Thousands of people around the world agreed with them, hence why EVO only stopped having Melee as part of its lineup in 2019. Only 17 years after the game was released. I've had the pleasure of meeting lots and lots of cool people via playing Smash Brothers, and one of them was a man called Tony, who I was able to meet the first week of moving to Preston. I sat next to him during orienteering, took one look at him, and famously said, "You look weird," and we hung out. Tony became part of this weird group of misfits I called my best friends, as we all decided the best way to waste some of the best years of our lives was by trying to get every trophy in Melee, to the point where Tony bought Pikmin just to get Captain Olimar. These long grinds and endless 1v1 sessions brought us all close together, even when salted at a loss caused by attempting to throw Electrode. I did it once, I promise. Tony's no longer with us, losing a fight with a brain tumour in 2017, and while reminiscing at his funeral, something that kept myself and all the friends we'd accumulated together was realising that we had stayed friends, kept friends, and gained more friends over the years was due to the love of an outdated children's video game. And even when playing it now in Newcastle, I'm getting completely emasculated due to getting thrashed by children who weren't even alive when the game came out. I'm thankful for getting into a game that was made so someone like me can walk up to somewhere filled with strangers, holding nothing but a decaying purple pad, and find a new mate in 10 minutes. Some people socialise the normal way, but I press side B and hope for the best.
Show me your moves!
How to sell Smash Brothers after all that? The greatest fighting game ever made that isn't a fighting game. I would recommend Smash Brothers Melee if you want to turn friends into family and good times into great memories. And that's what Super Smash Bros. Melee means to me.